Welcome to Asylum Atelier. Welcome to our stream. Welcome to Art Discourse. We finally hit it at the first time. Welcome to this really, really dark, gloomy day, which is awesome, but it's not ideal for painting. It's extremely dark here, and I can feel my camera is lagging because it's just way too much processing power that needs to kind of brighten up this image right here. So I think that ISO, it's off the roof right now, and it's barely keeping up with that 180p. So if you see me just being, lagging and the camera motions are not going to be ideal, it is because it's really, really dark here. I mean, really, really dark. It's just gloomy, rainy. Everything is, like this whole building, the historic building feels very medieval-like, which is perfect for the setup that we have here. It's just it kind of, it's kind of pushing me or keeping me very close to the subject matter, and very likely the conditions that they also were working. Hear me out. It's just way worse conditions, right? But at least that moisture around, and a dark, gloomy, no light, no artificial lighting or fixtures are present. So from visual standpoint of view, it's the same, and everything else in my age or in our age is way better than they had. So yeah, let me just start. As always, do not watch this video under any circumstances because it has zero entertainment value. So please, if you really want to enjoy it, join me, grab a piece of paper, maybe clay, digital, open your digital software, or perhaps, grab a pen and your notebook and write something, because that's the great way to start to get into into that kind of it's for me, it always been a first step that I didn't know that I can use, because it's something abstract that it's only in your head, your thoughts. You can transfer to paper via words, because you have, and every one of us since a very young age, we have been trained to write and read and describe our thoughts throughout this medium. So it's easier to get these thoughts on the paper with actual words, rather than just trying to transfer and go immediately into a visual imagery. Plus, if you put on top of it technical difficulties, which you might have, let's say, with if you care for figures, as I do, with the anatomy, proportions, so on and so forth, and then on top of that, problems with pigments or technical issues with the pigments, which is a whole other chapter, I would say a whole other book that you can write about when it comes to these things. It might be overwhelming and actually counterproductive. It might discourage you to continue. It might kind of dull that interest in creating visually, or creating the visual imagery. So yeah, please join me. That would be the only way how to enjoy the stream. Obviously, I am not a streamer. Based on my setup, you can see that this is not, I don't have these perfect transitions and so on and so forth. So this is really a studio atelier setup for us to communicate with each other, exchange the information, exchange the knowledge, and push art, all branches of art rather, forward. It's luckily, because we have this technology, we can do this. A couple of years ago, we wouldn't have this opportunity, and I would like to use any possible chance that I have to, improve my work. And one of them is being in the studio with other people. Yesterday, there was an amazing moment there that I highly recommend to check out for everybody. That just little laughable moment that kind of created and changed the direction for painting. And you know, it pushed it even to this stage today, where I'm going to be working on something different slightly. But that's going to be in a second. We have, you know, 4 hours today to talk about that, because that's probably not going to be a full color painting possible anyway. So yeah, like I said, please join me. That's going to be the best way to enjoy the stream. And please, if you can, and if you want, and if you have something to participate with, we here in Asylum Atelier would appreciate your input to anything, whether it's a criticism, hopefully constructive criticism, or there's some idea, or maybe some, you know, some notes, some pointers that would help other painters or students of art or professionals. It doesn't really matter. It's just there is always, you know, a space for improvement, and that's what I really strive for, and I'm really happy to take any advantage to learn something new, and you know, maybe not let me rephrase that. I'm happy to, you know, learn something new, not only through that kind of a formal education, which would be academy or university, but with the real life, with the people that have the similar experience, have similar problems, troubles, so on and so forth. And you know, like I said, yesterday was a perfect example of how important it is to have people around you. I know that it might sound very cool to have your own studio, and it is cool for first 2 weeks, and then it gets really depressing really quickly. And trust me, with this kind of weather, if you are not, you know, if you're not necessarily, how would I put this? If you don't feel that you have that confidence with your work, this might be extremely depressing, because you can't see your palette, or I cannot see my palette. I can't see my pigments. I can't see my color. Tomorrow I have to, you know, let's say that you have some projects to finish, or some paintings to finish, or you have multiple paintings going on, as I do right now, and you can't continue working right now. You're gonna get, you know, worried a little bit if you're going to be able to finish everything on time. So and having, you know, that kind of a laughable moment, and you know, laugh about things that are happening, because what else are you going to do? You're not going to stop the time passing, or you know, you can't really speed up the process with the oil paints. That's one thing that taught me to be a little bit more time aware, I guess. That will be a word. Because my time management is extremely poor, and if you think that yours is poor, then double it, and that's me at my best, right? So yeah, so please join us with the comments, even ideally with, you know, and this I am a proponent a little bit more if you even have an essay about or paper about some topic and some subject, and it's really you think that this is something that you would like to share with, I am very interested in these things as well, because I know that there is a comments that's like that kind of or chat, that's like a kind of an easy way to communicate. But then, you know, that longer format, it tests you as a person if you're capable actually, you know, to compile and create coherent train of thought that actually makes sense, and you can communicate with another person, right? So, and I'm not saying that you cannot do it. I know that it's very difficult for me, especially in a foreign language, or you know, it's English is my third language, so it's not really my mother tongue. So sometimes you can hear it for sure. So it kind of really challenges and stretches my imagination even more, and you know, tests my abilities to actually being able to communicate that thought or that idea that I have, which is completely abstract, because you know, it starts in my head. So yeah, I don't want to really repeat myself. And I have nothing on my canvas and I'm already backing up and I'm walking back and forth. It's only because even though there's nothing there, this is a fresh canvas. It was just, this is a linen, I believe it's linen. Yeah, this one is slightly, smoother. That's what word I was looking for than the big one. So it's just, you know, it's for different kind of. You can do a really beautiful portraits here, but then I have even smoother one. They are really for delicate portraits. If you do something like, you know, like this very smooth sfumato, like, you know, Renaissance transitions and that kind of cool stuff. And the reason why I'm backing up back and forth is because I took like very orangey, very, how would I say this, very, very saturated acrylic paint, and I quickly painted it over with a random brush strokes. And, you know, I'm looking for these patterns and I'm trying to find something interesting here that will help me to compose it, right? So that's why I, you know, immediately backed from my canvas, because I wanted to find something interesting in it before I start painting. Time management, you feel me? Yeah, I think that this is like a how would I call this? The time management is a, it's epidemic, I don't know, because it seems like today everything goes so fast that you are not able to go from one thing to another, you know, without creating so many problems for yourself. So it's that fast pace that we have today. Everybody wants everything so quickly and just let's go. We have a streaming which is, even this is a streaming, so you have it on demand in your pocket actually to watch and do anything you want. It's amazing. I can't even imagine to live without this, because I find it extremely helpful. Of course, it can be destructive and really counterproductive, but if you focus on putting all the effort and all the devices that you have into, you know, something that you want to advance, that's awesome. That's like having a whole brain, every library in your pocket. That's just unheard of. So I really enjoy that, and I love it, and I want to continue with that, you know, advancement of a technology. It's just, you know, it's being misused daily, unfortunately, which is, and the reason why I'm saying it is because, you know, that fast-paced kind of a, you know, contemporary idea of existing, it's in really strong juxtaposition what oil paint is. It dries very slow, it's complicated to master, right? It has a really steep learning curve. So it's just, you really have to dedicate an enormous amount of patience for working with oil paint. I think it deserves to be, you know, on the top of the pyramid, right next to those frescoes that I talked about yesterday, as one of the most challenging thing to master. And, you know, if you don't believe me, just, you know, squeeze couple tubes of color on the palette and, you know, start painting, which I highly recommend you to do, but not like, you know, not from that like a spiteful thing that I'm gonna show him that it's not that difficult as he's talking about. Well, maybe if you do it for that reason and you start to liking it, I don't care if you blame me for that. Actually, you know, do that. Blame me and do it in, you know, prove me wrong. That's what I'm trying to say. Just go ahead and prove me wrong. So, okay, that's as much for the introduction. Yes, you're absolutely right that time flies. I mean, just, you know, I don't even know how many hours I spent with the large painting, how many hours I spent with that one, the one that is in the back, the one that's in the opposite side of the wall. It's a countless hours. And I'm talking about, you know, we're speaking in hundreds, not tens, hundreds hours, hundreds upon hundreds, actually. I would say it could be, it's ridiculous. So yeah, and something again is with my camera. So what's happening right now? What seems to be the problem? Why are you not working? Oh, we'll have to wait a second because my camera decided to just okay, let me correct it. I don't know what happened there. I apologize. I mean, you know, like I said, disclaimer, I gave you all the information that I am not really a best representation of a streamer. This is not even a proper setup. This is my phone actually being connected to a computer. So yeah, that's that. I'm fine? Okay, well, for now, I guess. For now, you can say that I'm fine. But it is what it is. It's fun. It's fun, I know. It's just you can tell that this is a really, really, really ghetto streaming setup. Because I'm using, you know, you can see it after all. It's just like a you know, elongated holder for your cell phone. It's not even the proper camera setup. And my camera actually that I'm using for the recording, you can see like through the studio. It's sitting on my table, right? So that's how it is. Anyway, enough about my complicated. Or actually complicated, not complicated, my setup. And let's get into what I want to do today. Let me just turn on the digital thing, the digital library, I'm sorry. Rembrandt is here, just in case that, why is it not working again? What's happening here? Is it going to be like this whole day? Wow. This is crazy. Let me see. I don't know what seems to be the problem. I mean, this is what happens all the time when there is a new update that rolls out and then nothing works as I would like to. So I apologize. Give me a couple seconds to fix these things. And obviously it's not working again. Okay, camera. Be cool. I know you can hear me, but be cool. What is happening here? Okay, let's hope that it's okay right now and it's not going to fall down. because it's even more ghetto than you think. It's actually the little thing that is holding it. It's it's hooked to a to a French easel, not a French easel, to that posh art box that they use for bed painting Fridays. So that's how ghetto it is. No stand, no nothing. So, but we have to do what we have to do. So anyway, let me get to this. What I'm going to do today. You remember I had that, not necessarily a stupid idea, but let's say crazy idea that I just threw there for sake of, that brainstorming that we had about. You love that? Yeah, it should be, it's just, sometimes these devices, they want to. I was talking about how important and how cool they are like 30 seconds ago, and how I appreciate having them. And then this is what happens. It's just, just it's like my cell phone. It's like a teenage boy. It's like a teenager who just does whatever he pleases. And today it seemed like, it's some tantrum. Okay, going back to that painting. So I had this crazy idea that what if, instead of going again to Vienna to custom order a special frame, and invest a couple €100 into that special custom frame, and then another couple hundreds into a canvas. I felt that maybe we can utilize the stuff that we have at home or in the studio. And you remember, I am a collector, and I collect all kinds of stuff. And one of them would be, frames, boards, and all kinds of stuff. I mean, seriously, this studio, it's pretty big, it's pretty spacious, and I thought that what am I going to put into this studio? And I'm starting to, I have another storage place. that's just that's how it is when you collect a lot of materials and stuff. And trust me, I saw some most of these frames I found thrown into trash cans in the academy, because that's what happens with some students. Anyway, I decided to utilize this, and you remember I was talking about that. This is just a fragment, so we can actually utilize this fragment, and I could expand on it on the left side and the right side. And you remember, on the left side, I'm missing one figure from the composition, and I should probably move this a little bit more this way for now, because I still want to use it for a to make my size correct. But as you can see on my sketch, I have this figure right here. So I have two main figures. I have that side figure, the guy that it's laughing today at me, and at this project. But anyway, so the redundancy guy, and this is where the fragment ends. Right, and then I extended it to halfway, or separating these two, right? So I kind of created a little envelope for the main figures. But I still want to have this guy separately painted the same way that these two, because he's a part of the composition as well. And then I have this other part that I want to, again, I have multiple figures that I would like to put there. And I can test and examine all these things separately, and I decided to actually, then connect them into this whole fragment and create something like a triptych. It might not be, I'm not thinking about this as a final piece, because I still want to make that large-scale painting, but as it is right now, I can still continue working and I don't need to spend a couple days again preparing and setting up a large canvas. And then I would still have to draw him in, and I would still have to paint him in and test it. And it's easier for me to do it right here, to do like a little, you know, like a beginning of a bed painting Friday. Well, it's going to start today, right? So, and maybe tomorrow I can continue on that and maybe do a detail and show you what exactly needs to be adjusted, right? So these are the things that we can really have fun with. And, you know, like I said, this other part right here that I have, it's that another canvas that it's somewhere here in the back. Ooh, I almost dropped that. So I have another prepared canvas right here for the other side with a larger size, right? So these are completely different sizes, but and this needs to be, see when the moisture get into a studio, so the wood, it's warping a little bit. So I have another canvas right here that I can utilize for the right side project. So I'm going to call this left side project. This is the right side project, and you know, we can have a little bit more fun with it because these are just, you know, I'm going to call them throwaway canvases, but I don't mean it necessarily to throw them away, but these are you know, all the cool stuff that we can do, we can experiment here with these paintings. So I really want to take advantage of that fully. So when I do these sketches or the fragment painting or any other adjustments, it serves a certain purpose. Well, first of all, you are still painting and you are still in the act of painting. And the second thing is that, you know, you are advancing the overall idea that I have here. And I want to see how it's going to look if I separate them. And then actually separate them and connect them together, right? So I'm kind of interesting how is it going to look. And since I mentioned that, it kind of stuck or attached to my brain, and I couldn't leave that idea. And since today it's really dark, I cannot continue painting. I don't want to start that classical folklore painting because, you know, in the darkness I can't do it either. So I can start experimenting a little bit with this guy right here. So it's going to be fun, hopefully, today. So yeah, what do you think? Should I push it with a? Should I start working with charcoal and show you a little bit of that kind of you know, underdrawing, something similar that is all the way there back, or should I go directly with the brush and with a, you know, some kind of a monochromatic, a transparent mixture that would kind of you know, resemble like a underpainting? What do you think? Which do I usually start with? It doesn't really matter. If you tell me that I should start with crayons, I'll start with crayons. I just want to, you know, I just want to demonstrate that it doesn't really matter what you're going to do, because it's not really that necessary. Well, hear me out. Okay, let me take that back. It is important what and how you're going to start depends on what kind of output or outcome rather are you looking for, right? Since I work with layers, I am probably going to cover that canvas with the pigment multiple times. So anything or everything rather that it's underneath, or it's like a first layer, is probably going to get covered most of the time. It's not necessary always. Sometimes I like to have fun with it and leave it, as you can see with a knight right there. So it depends. It depends what I want to describe. It depends how I want to work, and what's, like I said, what is the final idea. If you're looking for more that kind of a sketch-like and study-like the finished piece, you can just go with the charcoal and you can leave the traces of charcoal showing through, and then put a pigment on top of it, and then a couple more layers where I'm pointing, because I'm thinking that this is where the focal point of this painting is going to be, and develop that to a maximum. So you're gonna get you would be able to observe every stage of a painting or drawing, for that matter, or the artwork, on the same canvas, right? So you would have parts of underpainting, we would have parts of preliminary drawing, you would have parts of, let's say, if you do glazing monochromatic a setup, and then you would go into a full color. So there is plenty of options, because it's really about what you want to, what should be your final product. It doesn't really matter that much for me. Paint with a brush? Okay, yeah, sure. Why not? Why not? Why not? So I'm just going to do, so we understand each other. I am going to, so this is a linen canvas on the stretcher bars. The size is, I believe, 120, 122. Let me just measure it. Only if I can find my tape measure. I'm pretty sure someone again stole my tape measure. Well, this is ridiculous. I found it. Got it. So 60 by 120, I believe. It's 60 by 120, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, 60 by 120. I'm talking centimeters. So the ratio would be, it's 60 by 120. It's it's 1 to 2. So in meters, it would be 1 meter to 2 meters, or in foot, probably would be 1 foot to 2 feet, right? For those of you still use imperial system. I know